And new at 10, it's scenes coming out of a movie as the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua are seen breaking into apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. This is according to our sister station in Denver. There you can see the group well armed and forcing an apartment door open and making their way in. This has raised concerns amongst residents and Colorado state law enforcement officials. The city of Aurora is issuing a statement today in the wake of national attention following the video's release. As we've reported in the past, Tren de Aragua is one of the fastest growing transnational criminal organizations from Venezuela. According to FBI officials, the gang has now infiltrated its way into the United States through various sectors of the U.S.-Mexico border.
How do we feel about this? Oh, and shout out. Okay, my bad. We missed your birthday, Shy. Happy belated, Shy. Hope you had a great one. Hope you're still enjoying it. It's going to be an amazing year. But getting back to the video, something that's not amazing. How do we feel about this? How do we feel about this? And what I see happening is that depending on which side of the political argument you're on pertaining to the main parties, Democrats or Republicans, you will downplay certain things or just act like you don't even acknowledge them. When people that dislike Trump, what do they always talk about? January 6th, oh my God, it was so bad. And they'll talk about it as if they were there or as if they had a family member that was injured or if they were really fearful of Donald Trump becoming a dictator and taking over the country. But then you'll have a situation like this where you'll actually see this gang that came in illegally through the border. It's to the point where I don't even know if you can call it illegal because they were invited here. It's like, we're inviting you to come here illegally. And that was the Democratic Party that did that. So the same Democrats that get mad at January 6th because they're fearful of their safety, it's as if these type of situations that you see it across the board. I see a lot of news stories. I don't know if it's because my algorithm, but whenever a quote unquote illegal migrant, not even quote unquote, whenever an illegal migrant comes in and commits a crime, we see it. We see it. It is what it is. And maybe as I'm having the conversation with you, it's funny because what was Trump saying and everybody was calling him racist when he was talking about the type of people that are coming here and he was calling them certain names. And now we're starting to see what ends up happening and how some of these other countries are pushing some of they're not sending their best, the people that are going to go to MIT. And a lot of these countries, they're pushing, bringing their criminals. I think this was a similar situation that happened with Cuba. I'm not exactly sure, but based on my research and watching Scarface, this happened right here in Miami. But we're starting to see these things. So how can you be so concerned about the safety of our communities on January 6th? But it's like these type of situations to where people were illegally invited here to come as illegal migrants that are getting all these special privileges, that are doing some of the things, forming these gangs, doing all these type of things to the point where I don't even want to talk about this type of stuff. I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the ones calling these type of, gangs out. Shit, leave that up to Kamala, Trump. Y'all call it out. But how do us as American citizens, how does this not bother us? How does this not concern us? I bet you that if you were living in that complex, it would be a totally different experience. It would be a totally different mindset. But because it's just like war, because we're not actually experiencing the harms of war, we act as if it's almost just like a video game. It's like Grand Theft Auto. We've been programmed to like the Halo games. We've been programmed to experience war in a casual way, just playing video games with the headphones with our friends, to now we don't even actually truly understand the harms of war. And I've had this conversation with y'all before. I'm guilty of it as well, because I've heard certain situations happen between Israel and Palestine with bombs being dropped. And I sit there and I'm like, damn, like this, I feel a pain in my stomach I feel a pain in my stomach. It completely bothers me for 5 minutes. And then I go watch a game and I'm not even thinking about it. That's just, I'm just being totally honest with y'all, because I don't like, war is not, I've never experienced war. You know, I watch it in the movies. I think it's a terrible thing. And I'm one of the people like, I'm peacemaker, no war. I don't care. Figure out a different way to do it. Compete in something else for the land. Compete in a basketball game. I don't know what it is. You send your 10 best fighters in a boxing match or MMA. They send their 10 best fighters and or 11. You know, we'll do 11 different weight classes, and whoever wins the majority of them, they get the. Let's figure it out that way, because the war ain't working. It's not working. It's too evil. It's too evil. But that's the world that we live in currently. We only feel things if they hit us in the face. We can't look at somebody else getting punched in the face and say, like, damn, that's not right. That's a problem. That's just not how we feel things. And it's because we have so much hatred for the other side that it completely numbs our feelings about certain situations that we should be highly concerned about. All right, so what are we going to get into next? We got a couple videos to discuss. Let's go into this. All right, so I was sent this before we get into, I think we're finally going to get into the cam. But before we get into the cam, I want to share this with y'all. Let me see if it'll come on the screen. Chill out, Ant. All right, so this was a letter or just something. Somebody wrote this on social media. That's cool. It's cool. We can read it. I want to share this with y'all because this is a struggle and a challenge that I face, and perhaps a lot of y'all face it as well. But it just highlights the generational differences between us, our parents, and our grandparents. And let me make sure that I catch up. Let me read Ant's comment first, and then we'll get into this reading. So Ant wrote, "This is everywhere. When criminals are dropped in new countries without background checks or repercussions, watch the crime rates in the Caribbean. America started deporting criminal immigrants." So we're doing the same thing. That's what you're saying. So all of these countries are pretty much, when you have a country that is saying like, come here, we'll take them. We'll take y'all. The other countries are saying like, yeah, take them. Take them. Like, yeah, this group, yeah, get them out of here. And Ant's saying that America does it as well. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Shoot, America does it just within America, you know, by, okay, this particular neighborhood, this particular things. We've heard RFK talk about it. They do it not only with the crime, but they're very selective in who gets the great quality water. You know, isn't that one of the things that RFK Jr. was fighting for? Or who gets toxic chemicals, you know, put in their particular neighborhoods? Who has these pipelines running through their neighborhoods? We see it all the time, how different communities, based on who's in the community, type of money that they may have, various things that factor into it, those determine what happens in that community. Who can we get away with violating without having them make such a big thing about it to the point where we'll get called out on it? That's what I see happening. All right, so let's get into this reading, or this I don't know what we call it. Powerful words, though, in my opinion. Let's see if y'all feel the same.